What's up, Financial Zen Masters? It's an aggressive welcome on a Friday afternoon. So, I have watched, a little over 110 episodes of Shark Tank, and there's a lot of lessons in there, but here's the number one lesson I've taken away after 110 plus episodes of Shark Tank. Hey, it's Rick. Welcome to the Financial Zen channel, where the big question is, how do you, a super successful working professional with kids at home and a mortgage to pay, how do you quit your 9 to 5 so you can go pursue your passions while still providing for your family? That is the question. We have the answers. Thanks for tuning in. So I am a Shark Tank fanatic. I got addicted to Shark Tank, I don't know, maybe 9 months or maybe 18 months ago, like about a year and a half or so. And the reason why I got addicted to Shark Tank is because that's when I first started hiring our first employees, and that's when I was no longer just a practicing financial planner, and it turned into running a business. And then I got very interested in small businesses and best practices, right? I'm a big believer in standing on the shoulders of giants and figuring out what everybody else has done and done well and done poorly, and model the ones that have done super well, right? So I watch a lot of Shark Tank, watch these sharks, these experts business leaders and how they think. And here's the number one rule I have learned after, and I'm only in season 5. I got like 12 more seasons to go or something. It's been on the air for a ridiculous amount of time. But I've literally watched all 25 episodes of all the first 5 or 6 seasons. And I'm only up to like 2012 or something. Anyways, but the themes are recurring. And the number one theme that is always recurring is you've got to know your numbers. Every small business that gets into the Shark Tank, who doesn't know their numbers, gets blown out of the water. Literally just arms and detached limbs, right, from getting eaten by the sharks. You got to know your numbers. What do they mean by knowing your numbers? What they mean by knowing your numbers is you got to know, what your revenue is, right? You got to know what your expenses are. You got to know what your profit is, right, at the end of the day. You got to know what your cost per client acquisition is, right? How much it costs to acquire a new client. These are the numbers, right? You got to know those numbers, the basic numbers, right? Now, here's how this applies to you who may not be a small business owner, right? We focus on specifically W-2 employees for the most part. And here's how it applies to you, and here's a change in the framework in which you think about your money. One of the things that we often hear, one of the dreams, one of the goals that we often hear from people, from new members that we start working with is, someday I'd like to run my own show. I'd like to hang a shingle out and start my own business, whatever that means to that person, right? And we hear that a lot, like pretty frequently. Like, I would like the independence. I'd like to do my own thing, right? I like to be in control, in full control of what's going on, and really run my own business. And here's the thing that most people don't realize: you already run your own business. All of us already run our own small business. Maybe it's just family owned, but it's still a small business. And if you attack your numbers, your personal financial numbers, like a small business owner would that would succeed in the Shark Tank, you too will succeed in your own personal business. So think about it. You get paid right? You go put in the work, right? You trade your time for money. You trade your time for a paycheck, right? That's the labor you put in. You pay with your time, right? That's your expenses. Then you get a top line, right? You get your paychecks. Certain amount goes to taxes. Certain amount goes into savings, right? And then you have the expenses, and then it trickles down to the bottom line, right? In terms of profit. And then once you have that profit number, that's where you decide to save. But it all begins with the money coming in, and then the money going out, and then you figure out whatever is left over, where to put it, what to do with it, right? So by focusing, like, for instance, in your Financial Zen side on where the expenses are going, and like I said the other day, like, whatever you focus on will improve. It can't help not. If you're sitting down to review your finances once a year, you're going to get once a year results. If you're sitting down to review your finances quarterly, you're going to get quarterly results. If you're sitting down every week, you're going to get weekly results, right? Weekly improvements and drastic improvements. And an easy way to start, some of the things that I hear when I'm like, focus on your finances on at least a weekly basis. Some of the things I hear is like, but like, focus on what? And expenses is a really easy one. And I'm not talking about not buying your $3 latte at Starbucks. I'm talking about just looking non-judgmentally at where your money's going. Start with your expenses. Oh, I didn't realize and I tell you, we do this for our members. And when we do this for the members, the first time we reveal, here's a breakout of where all your money's going, Just totally objectively, non-judgmentally, like here's where your money's going. Just so you know. People are always shocked at how much they spend on this, that, and another thing, right? They're like, man, I had no idea. It's just like, feels like pennies, but it really adds up. And it does add up. And that influences their behavior, and that changes their behavior for the better, where they maybe they do think twice about buying a latte. I don't care where you spend your money, but I do care that you know where it's going. That's the important part. Because then you can make smart decisions and you improve what you measure, right? So anyway, 110 episodes of Shark Tank. Number one lesson: know your numbers. Don't fool yourself into thinking you don't run a business. You do run a business. It's your family Inc., right? Your family LLC. You already run a business. Track it like a business. Follow it like a business. Know your numbers. Start with your expenses. It's the easiest place to start, and do it starting this week. All right. Hope that helped. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.